the government registered scientific research organization. Society is working for this research community at national and international level to impact quality and non-profitable services. Society has successfully organized 100 plus conferences, seminars, symposiums, and other educational programs at national and international level in association with different educational institutions. The University of State Fiscal Service of Ukraine was established in 1921. This is one of the largest educational institutes in terms of territory and developed infrastructure, which is equipped according to European standards in the Park of Irpin, Ukraine. The university forms a strong qualification base of employees of the fiscal service throughout Ukraine. During this existence, the school has trained about 70,000 specialists. So let us know that what is the objective of this conference. Our main objective is to observe the current scenario towards the advancement of common citizens' life by improving the theory and practice of various disciplines of business, management, and economy. The aim of the conference is to provide an interaction stage for researchers, practitioners from academia and industries to deal with the state-of-the-art advancement in their respective fields. Now, I would like to show all of you one short video about the Research Culture Society. So, can we just play the video, please?
Yes, please invite Professor Paresa. We will not continue with video because there is a disconnectivity problem.
Okay, sir. To Dr. Paresh Shah. Professor Dr. Paresh Shah is a PhD FCMA alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad. He is the principal and professor of Rai Business School in Rai University. He holds industrial experience of nearly a decade with Tata Group and postdoctorate experience of more than 26 years. He is an industry academia and a freelance visiting professor at several reputed institutions. The area of interest is teaching, research, and writing in finance, accounts, and control area. He is also a corporate trainer, resource for the faculty development programs and workshops across the country. He is associated with Middlesex University, London, UK, and an academic associates with IESE Business School, University of Navarra in Spain, and Darden School of Business, University of Virginia in US. He has published 43 research papers, published peer-reviewed journals in international and national journals. Research papers includes 8 international research papers. He has also authored 21 books. Out of that, 9 books are highly accepted in global market. The international publishers include Oxford Press, University Press, Bistantra, Willy India, with the financial management area, and Lambert Academia Publishing in Germany for the research publications. Dr. Paresh Shah is an editorial board member of 7 international journals and 11 national journals. He is also a member of 9 professional and academical institutions. He has conducted 10 colloquia. 4 research scholars are awarded doctorate under his guidance. Presently, 7 research scholars are pursuing doctorate study under him. Dr. Paresh Shah is the recipient of 14 awards at national and international level. Among that, 5 of them are international. We welcome you, sir.
Chiyak Patel for allowing me and giving me the opportunity to address the Benedictine session. Our Benedictine session, when I try to be linked to certain early morning sessions, I have tried to be very recently giving the negative hint to one of us. Like normally people used to be say that India is a worse, something like that. India had no opportunity. But say, Mr. Sudesh very exactly trying to be say that India has a very good talent is available, capacity is available to accept the challenges, come out from the dynamic uncertainties. So India has a good capacity to manage it. And second thing is that India is going to have the huge demand is available over the period of time. As we know, the creation of the demand, consumption level, high consumption level going to result into the high level of the supply. And that cycle will create the total employment level and the standard of living of the society is going to be increased. So what we say that somewhere on a piece of paper, what our present Prime Minister is trying to be say, that come ease of doing the business in India is possible, practically because of some impurities available in our system. We are not in a position to coming up to that level. So this conference have exactly addressed the need that as an industry player, we should try to make sure that the impurity in our system should be reduced. Only creating the supply going to be support to increase the export. But then the question is coming in the today's level that how many countries will be allowing us, allowing any other country to import and export activities because they have to make their standard of living to make better way. So basmati rice, which is said that we are being exporting, correct. This year the export is happen better. Next year will be happen. But later on here, other country will not be willing to import it. This is one of the very important point. We Indians, we industry player, we academia, supposed to address and to take the care of that. When we try to be linked it with our NEP 2020, somewhere NEP 2020, National Education Policy 2020, address the same thing. That when the student is coming in the 6th standard onwards, every year 10 days, he is going to be for the vocational training, which is going to be effective from the year 2023, what we are expecting. But if the pandemic situation maybe continue, it may take another 1 more year or so. But this is the need of the hours. So this is what international level we are facing the problem at this moment. So when it very categorically say that when we try to be looks toward the business cycle, the hypothesis should take the care of the few factor or parameters not on correct. On parameters cannot be considered by us, but then the factoring type of studies, factoring analysis, removal of the certain factor, deciding the certain area is being our responsibility as an academician to give the support to the such person. There we need to do to go with the system of PDCA. We should plan, we should check, we should plan, we should do, we should check, and we should act on that. So that PDCA is going to be support us to have the advanced product quantity available for the purpose of advancement of product. And this will in turn support us to nukes into the need of the production plan appearance system. So the production plan appearance system should have been done with a consideration in mind to go with a Six Sigma level. every place the Six Sigma level may not be possible at this moment in Indian culture because of the educational level, because of the competency available with the industry, because of the input sources, processional technicality involved. In each of that, we may try to be addressed to the 5 sigma level or 5.2 sigma level, 5.5 sigma level. So decimal factoring level is also going to be coming to picture. So in those circumstances, it is going to be directly support us to make the broadcasting. And our today's concern will also be addressing that we as an industry player, we as an academia should not only go on making the management development program the way previously we used to be doing it, like a campus management development program. We may have to change our attitude. Industry have to change their attitude. There it may be decided that certain weekend, 2 hours, or working day only, the certain number of executives are being addressed by the academicians by using the latest teaching technological tool, using the FNIP classroom structure. FNIP classroom structure is also going to be the need to look towards the latest level of the advanced level development of the socio-economic parameters. So that faculty will also be understand by say FNIP classroom within their free time at home, maybe during the recess time, during their free finish, they are looking towards a small video of a 5 to 10 minutes. I am also suggesting normally that we should not encourage every time the reading material in the MDP program, in the FDP program also, faculty development program also, because no one is going to be the 30 to 40 pages. Like very recently, I went there to be said that I was being in Tamil Nadu University and talking about the novel approach of the online teaching mode. I have additionally given them the teaching note, but I found that no one have read it. Same session when I was being taking in another university in the math, I tried to use the FNIP classroom approach. I given the 6 videos, each video of 30 minutes, even the video number. When the discussion was going on, it was a very marvelous. Everyone tries to be said that, yes, sir, video number 2, you talk about this. Video number 3, it is linked. So how we can establish the linkages between these two? So it's today the one culture is coming that senior generation like you and me, who used to be go to the 500 pages of books, willing to go through the newspaper, editorial may not seem to be there. So this is the same culture is happening. When I try to expand it in the industrial parameters, the same structure have been applied. Industry players are normally more in mental tension because they have not only the one functionality, multi-functionality we require. We as a researcher also, we as an academician also required to be go towards the cross-disciplinary research. I'm not saying multidisciplinary research, cross-disciplinary research. Being a finance and account guys, if I only just go and talks about the commerce and finance, it may be adding my biodata. it may be making my CV as a very strong one, but it is not going to be at the value for the society. In the cross-cultural disciplinary research, I try to make a cross study. Like what I explained, that basmati rice export maybe continue, but not at the same level. Because pandemic will make that the own country would like to make sure that on personnel in the country will get the necessary employment. So they would try to become to the production possibility curve, move away from the production possibility curve and coming back towards the producing the own needed item, own necessity within their own country. They will try to be curb certain export. So countries are now coming to the level of kingdom level. In today's pandemic position, we can say it may be global village, but coming towards a shorter way that everyone is coming on this particular level. So this is the some of the brief I try to be say in this session, that how the changes happening in the society today going to be make the effect on eco-socio parameters for years to come. And being an ex-industry player, corporate trainer, I know very well that today if I go to my corporate and I talk about the one parameter, they say that, so there is no need to be talk about the cost of capital much. Let us say that how we can make sure that the goods are being picked up by the society. How my distributors are willing to distribute my goods, promote my goods than others. What are the quality and cost consciousness is required in the product? Previously, I used to be said that let us go on making a reorganization of the borrowing money and make the company's cost of capital need lower. Now, few companies players, biggest players are saying no need to talk about it. It is not contributing more than 0.2% of our total cost of sale. So we are not worried about it. First, let us create the demand for our product. So this is what the pandemic situation is says, and the management needs to make the change in the system. I hope this would be sufficiently the small, my experiences. I try to narrate it as a industry academia researcher, that's how I look into. Whenever I try to visit the Indian continental, European continental, American continental, where majority of the SMEs are trying to say that let us zero level inventory. Level of the inventory should be no one like that. Thank you very much. Dr. Chirag Patel, I hope that I have completed within the scheduled time.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity, and my Nita bit knowledge must have been successful.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your ideas and views with us. Now, we have with us Dr. D. Chennappa. I would like to introduce all of you to him. Dr. D. Chennappa is a professor of commerce at Osmania University, Hyderabad. Presently, he is a dean, faculty of commerce at Satavahana University, Karimnagar, Telangana. He obtained his MCom, MPhil, and PhD degrees at Osmania University, Hyderabad, and MBA from IGNOU. He has 27 years of teaching experience and research experience. He is qualified national eligibility test in 1996 conducted by UGC, New Delhi. He has been teaching quantitative techniques for business decisions, research methodology, and e-commerce. He undertook 4 minor and 2 major research projects sponsored by ICSSR and UGC New Delhi. He authored 3 books and edited 15 books. He published books were widely acclaimed. He got published 6 papers in international paper and 38 national papers in a reputed referred national journals. He organized 3 national seminars and international conferences at USA and more than 50 national seminars at national level. Under his supervision, 2 MPhils and 8 PhDs have been awarded. He is a UGC research awardee in the year 2012 to 14. He is the State Best Teacher Awardee in 2019 and presently a principal of University College of Commerce and of Osmania University. He is a columnist for Enadu Daily newspaper. We welcome you, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Am I audible? At this Research Culture Society, in collaboration with the University of State Physical Service of Ukraine, coming out and conducting international conference on the business management, socio-economic advancement for 2 days. Dignitaries who are present over here, Professor Dr. Paresh Shah, the Principal and Professor of Roy Business School, Roy University of Gujarat, and Professor Ketan Upadhyaya. I might be knowing him personally. He is a Dean, University of Baroda, where the Professor Parimala Vyas was the Vice Chancellor of this university. Really, I welcome you, sir. Then the Dr. Kiran Sood is Associate Professor, Chitrakara University of Punjab. And today, very attractive, dynamic lady, she could have joined it, Dr. Nadia Stejko. Actually, she might be representing from to Ukraine for this valedictory function. And around 18 participants who have participated or been participating now. Just coming to directly to the valedictory function, I have referred to the program sheet of the 2 days international conference. There were so many eminent personalities who have come from the Poland, Germany, Malaysia, and Manila, Philippines, and very quality papers being presented over in this international conference. And in this juncture, I would like to say only one word in the valedictory function. In the evening hour, I can say that only congratulate all them, and I welcome all these eminent personalities for this valedictory functions. While inviting us, they mentioned as a guest speakers or eminent speakers for to this valedictory session. When the valedictory section, we may not be a speaker, only we want to be as ornamentals from representing from Osman University, as a dean of the Shatavan University. Then another dean is from to the Baroda Gujarat University. Then another eminent personalities from to the Ukrainian other people. And we would like to listen from to this 1 or 2, 3 participants. What is their feedback? How this was held it? Of course, then this is because of the Research Culture Society. It is conducting. And their objectives are different, and the people are presented, and they might have left this webinar. Despite the fact that I would like to address those who are participating, of course, these organizers, Baroda Bohora and other people, and Dr. C.M. Patel is a director for this Research Cultural Society. Kindly this, whatever our talks, even our Professor Paresh Shah talk is there, kindly make it as a YouTube link and kindly share to the participant, or you can upload anywhere to the website, Research Culture Society website, where the people can listen and they can do it. Here is, I take this platform to address only 2 issues. One issue is about the Indian economy, where they mention, and including about management and socio-economic factors. I will take not more than 2 minutes. Then the first thing is there, I would like to speak on to the Indian economic and monitoring system. When the monitoring system monitored by the Reserve Bank of India, this is the backbone for doing to the not only national level business, we can also do the international business. Then in the monetary policy, very recent monetary policy, Reserve Bank of India has come up with the motto is going for to the moratorium and reduction of the interest rates. Fine. The interest rates, once they reduced it, the currency circulation will be more and more. When the currency circulation is more and more again, it may drive towards to the inflation. It may drive to the more demand for to the products. Then looking about this platform, looking about this bankings are generously giving the loans to that. Big corporates are coming. They would like to acquire some other businesses. In India, particularly started like a Big Bazaar, like a DMart. Those are in the retail chains. Because of this monitoring policy, because of this government policy, they want to sell their companies to the another giant company. The Indian economy, where we are moving towards to the, actually we would like to see that a perfect competitive market, but we are moving towards the direction of the monopolistic or duopolistic economic conditions. Where the mass people are there, then we have to think about it. If the monopoly will come and the duopoly will come, how is going to be benefited to the citizens of the India? I take this platform to raise a question, and I also appeal to those who have participated, those who may laterally also they participated, kindly put up your pen and paper. Come out with the research paper. This is a research culture society is ready to publish your papers. If you come out, the Indian economy is going to have the competitive economy or monopolistic economy or duopolistic economy, or the economy is concentrated in only few hands. Is it good or bad if you come out with the concrete research work? Yes. Not only one research culture society, the many platforms are there. You can enrich or you can ventilate your ideas. Then once this is a big, like it, some of the insurance companies also merging, and all the banks, they merged into the one bank, and they were dreaming about it. India should become about the 5 trillion economy incoming. They thought up in 2020, unfortunate. And the 2020, they want to say that the $5 trillion economy as a India, but the dreams have been vanished. Now working in the directions of the 5 trillion economy. Now my question is to all the audience and the organizers. To become a 5 trillion economy, could we encourage the only mergers and acquisitions, or could we go for to the industrial development, or could we go for to the expansion of the service sector? The answer is not banning about the imports. Imports must be there. Wherever the imports are there, again recycle it. You can export the product to other countries. Therefore, I take this platform to the eminent and young faculty members, research scholars. Please put up your hand. India is going to really becoming a $1 trillion economy in the coming years or not? What is going to be happening in this? Again, look about to this federal Indian economic system. Central government is working in another direction, and the state governments started working in the another direction. Most of the states, they are not following to the central government directions. The central government is working to come out with the one nation, one education, one nation and one tax system, one nation, one electricity policy system, and one nation, one health card. That was coming, but most of the states, because of the federal system, the health and education are onto the concurrent list. How it is going to be coincide? Who is going to be benefited out of it? As a research scholars, please make a point. This is the one area we can come out to it. Yes, Is it really we need a one nation and one card, or is it do you want to continue with the federal? Because of the state is one government is there, state government policies are different and central government policies are different. In simple example, I would like to mention that the government of India introduced in the during the this last year 2018, they have introduced about to the Ayushman Bharat health insurance scheme. But most of the states they did not following for that, including our Telangana state. They don't follow it. They mentioned that we have the Aragyasri scheme. It is much superior than to the central scheme. Therefore, we don't want to adopt to the central scheme as Ayushman Bharat scheme. Now, our duty as academician, we could not give any rosy feature to any governance. We have to come out with the real features. This Ayushman Bharat scheme is good, or state implemented schemes are good. Which one is good for to the public? What is a research cultural society? The motto of the society is that bring out published quality papers with the perfect data, concrete data. Really, if they come out like this, if the things are wonderfully, we can mention that. Now look about this because of the situation, everything is home now. International conference at home. Colleges are at home. Hospital, suppose you are sick, is there, quarantine at home. Suppose heavy rains are there, like Gujarat, my earlier speaker informally is speaking about heavy rains at Gujarat. Now home has become as a shelter for them. Even Telangana also, we are also receiving heavy rainfalls. The home has become as a shelter for it. Now home is equivalent to education, home is equivalent to hotel, home is become as a hospital, home has become as a college. In these circumstances, really for the homes or real estates, is going to play any predominant role in our economy? Which state is emerging or which state is not emerging? What is the home? What is the role of the home? How do we proceed? What is the demand? What are the constraints? If any scholar will come out, definitely this is going to be helping to this. Then many factors are there. Again, finally, I would like to mention as a last point that the international business, since it is international conference there, we have to talk about the international business. Suppose at the global level, how the global level? The global level also the economy is in crisis. When the economy, the deep crisis, the look about to when America, every day stock market is falling. Once stock market dwindling, definitely next morning in India, you can see the same reflections. How do we control it? Who has to take the measures? Can we encourage the saving of the people? How we are going to be encouraging the saving of the people? How do we motivate the people to save it for their future expenditures? Likewise, many factors like tariff factors, like even the currency factors and exports and import factors. Many factors are there. I appeal to these all the research scholars and particularly younger faculty members through this platform in the valedictory function as a guest of eminent speaker, being a dean of the faculty of one of the Telangana state universities. I appeal to you, please produce a quality papers based upon the concrete data, authenticated data. If you come out, definitely we are the contributor to the society. I'm a professor, I cannot contribute like in health sector. I can hardly give the good lectures. I can publish quality paper in quality research journals. And like sometimes, thanks to the Dr. C.M. Patel, some platform is given. We can create certain awareness among us only. I cannot go beyond it. So therefore, you have your own limitations. And these limitations, definitely we can work and take my words as a message. Please attend as many as seminars, webinars, and wherever maybe it is a webinar or online or in coming January 2021, offline seminars and offline webinars. Try to participate and excel or ventilate your ideas. And once you started ventilating, creating awareness among the public, definitely we may be contributing to the society in the form of the creating awareness among our own fraternity people. And once you publish a paper, it is a white and black paper. It is going to be reflecting to us. Therefore, try to publish in a paper. And finally, I also equally thank you and welcome Professor Ramesh Chandra Rath. He is a very active person and really is a very dynamic person. So I would like to listen few words from him, and then given me this platform, I really thank the organizers. And don't disappoint, sir. Your efforts are very, very excellent, and do put more efforts to attract more number of participants. Nowadays, now any academic activities, good activities will conducted or will be organized. The response is like it. Suppose it may be some any cultural event is there. It could have your webinar could have been broken, but the research activities, when we talked about it, the academic activity endeavors, so the people may take it very lighter manner. And don't be disappointed. We are not at all disappointed. Again, we have our spirit. And then please vigorously do conduct many more conferences, many more webinars, and publish many more quality journals. I take this platform to wish you good luck, all the best. I also equally congratulate all the participants, those who have been participating since 2 days. All the best. I also thank the Professor Paresh Shaha and my Dean, Professor Ketan Upadhyaya, and my colleague, Dr. Kiran So, and some of the even the Professor Rath, Ramesh Rath, then many other participants kindly take our words to try to do the academic ventures. Thank you very much for giving me this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for a nice lecture regarding the economic policy of India now. I would like to express myself. This is myself, Dr. Ramesh Naratha, presently the Dean R&D Research and Development Cell, Guru Gobind Singh Technical University, for Bokaro cities. My passion is research work. I have 27 years experience regarding the academia and industries. Last I have this is CEO, Chief Executive Officer as NALCO, CPP NALCO there this is. So myself motivate the students research class, how to enhance the good research. Your lecture this is already indicates about the quality papers, because the quality has no compromise. So where is quality? That's a good. My personal appeal to all the participants, all the professors of this is, they were guided the students or research scholars. Teach, advise them to write the quality papers. Not have this is fake journals. Publish the fake journal. Most of fake journals have been now published. The Scopus indexing like this over. No, that is not Scopus index. So if you go for the data collection of this is original research work, if you got the data, original data is father, Bappa, I think this is. In Odia, this is Bappa, that is father. Father has no change. Mother has no change. Father, mother same. So data research work, if you go for the original research, that you have to have write the original papers. So Sarji, Dr. Professor Chandrapai is very good speakers. There is eloquent speakers. You have delivered your speech in a nice way. But this is you have mentioned all things regarding the scenario of Indian economic systems. Definitely go for the reaching the 5 trillion of Indian have this GDP. Now GDP is minor figures. So whatever it may be. Once again, this is I congratulate all organized teams of Research Culture Society, particularly the eminent personalities, the panel speakers. I have the thing of this is the panel speaker. This is most of panel speakers not a discuss of this because participants is less name. So whatever it may be, go for the panel speaker. Next, go for organize my university. In my university, I welcome to this Research Culture Society for having for organizing international conference. Just have this is 2 weeks within this 15 days. Thank you all for a kind cooperation and kind research. Once again, this is congratulations to the speaker. Very nicely you have dedicated your speech. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Ramesh Chandra ji. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to invite Professor Ketan Upadhyay. He is the Dean of Faculty of Commerce in the MS University of Baroda, Gujarat. He is serving at the Department of Accounting and Financial Management, Faculty of Commerce, in Maharaja Sayaji Rao University of Baroda. and teaching at the postgraduate Masters of Commerce level from last 25 years. He is a government nominated member, University Granth Nirman Board of Gujarat, and a member of Research Development Committee of Baba Sahib Ambedkar University, Gujarat. We welcome you, sir.
To thank Research Culture Society Director Dr. C.M. Patel ji, his team. I would also like to thank Professor Paressa ji, Dr. D. Chennappa ji, Dean Faculty of Commerce, Telangana, Dr. Kiran Sood, Associate Professor, Chitkara University, Punjab, Professor Nadia, Professor Chennappa mention name of my Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Parimal Vyas sir. Professor Parimal Vyas is a renowned academician and a very widely traveled academician across the India. So he might have connection with Dr. Chennappa. I thank Dr. C.M. Patel for giving me this opportunity to speak in front of participants on international conference on business management, social and economical advances. I congratulate Research Culture Society for organizing a very contemporary webinar on various themes: business, management, social and economical advances. Professor Paressa gave us the bird view on academic and industry linkages. Dr. Chennappa also mentioned some very important areas where research students should improve upon. I was expecting that there will be presentation from the participants, and at the end of the presentation there will be a small speech from the panelist. But it seems that there is some change in the logistic, and we as a panelist have been asked to present their views. As Dr. Chennappa rightly mentioned, that in valedictory session we are not supposed to make some great presentation, and it is just a review of the work done by the participants over the conference. I have gone through the presentations, participation, areas of participation, and I must congratulate Research Culture Society that wide areas have been discussed during the 2-day international conference. I was little apprehensive about what should I talk with you, or particularly with the participants. Recently, I was going through the RBI documents, and we all know that we are going through some unforeseen times. We are going through some very difficult times, economically, socially, politically, psychologically. We have not seen this type of situation earlier, and maybe we pray God that we will not see this type of situation in the future. I would like to restrict myself to India, though this is an international conference. I would like to restrict myself to India. Let me share some views. I understand that I have been given the control of the sharing the screen. Am I, Dr. Patel?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. But before that, let me speak about some global indicators since 2020, February. Exactly on 15th of March, we went into lockdown, first announced by our Honorable Prime Minister, sir. And since then, global economy has suffered a sharpest contraction. World merchandise trade has registered a sharp decline of 18% in Q2 of 2020. Global manufacturing and service PMI means Purchase Manager Index. This is showing some improvement. It has risen from 50.6 to 51.8. Global financial markets have turned upbeat. Advanced and emerging market economies are showing signals of bounce back. Portfolio flows to emerging market economy have resumed. I am sharing these views from a very recent address by Governor Sasikanta Das of Reserve Bank of India. If we are all into academics and research, we always have the habit of reading very contemporary issues. So in the continuation, I was reading about a very interesting article. I would also like to advise my young researchers that you should occasionally find out this type of articles. The title of the article is very catchy. What forces could drive the recovery? This is a question which is asked by every industrialist, every academician, that what forces can drive the recovery? And I found some very interesting observation by Sri Sasikanta Das, and I thought it that today a platform is given to me for sharing my views to this esteemed platform. Let me put something into the research thought process of research colleagues. The 5 areas which have been identified by Governor Sasikanta Das are human capital. This is one of the very important issue which he has picked up. He has stressed the importance of education and health. Incidentally, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has announced new education policy 2020, which has the potential to leverage India's favorable demographics by prioritizing human capital. Governor Sasikanta Das has also emphasized on the advancement of human capital. The second area which he has emphasized is productivity. We all know that because of physical and emotional reason, the productivity level have gone down. There is a database which has been hosted by RBI in the name of KLEMS. KLEMS means Capital, Labor, Energy, Materials and Services. KLEMS. According to this database, overall productivity growth was 0.9% per annum for the period from 1981 to 2017-2018. You will be surprised to know that during 2013-14 to 2017 and 18, the contribution has increased significantly to 30%. I'm talking about contribution of productivity growth to overall GDP. So this is the second point raised by Sri Sasikanta Das, productivity. The third area which RBI, Reserve Bank of India, is concentrating on is exports and global value chain. We know that India's participation in global value chain is lower than many emerging and developing economies. The RBI and incidentally government is stressing or emphasizing on exports and global value chains. One more area which has been identified by Governor Shaktikanta Das as tourism, very rightly identified as engine of growth. Tourism has been one of the sectors in economy which has been more severely impacted by COVID-19. You know that foreign national footfall in India have stopped since February 2020. But at the same time, we also know that India has an immense potential to meet the diverse ranges of tourist interest. Maybe it religious, maybe it adventure, maybe it is medical, yoga, sports, filmmaking, and ecotourism. So government and the Reserve Bank of India has identified that recognizing the potential of the tourism sector, government is going to give a strategic policy support to the sector. There is one more area identified by Governor Shaktikanta Das, food processing. Food processing is a sunrise industry. The importance of consumer basket has increased over times. Food processing is also offering huge employment potential. The data which I have says food processing industry's contribution to overall GVA, GVA means gross value added, is only 1.6%, but it accounts for 1.8 million jobs in the registered and unincorporated sector. So I thought that in the valedictory session, I have read a very important document recently presented by Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikanta Das. Dr. Shaktikanta Das has also mentioned the quote of Mahatma Gandhi ji, and I would like to share those quotes with you. Mahatma Gandhi ji has said that if I have the belief that I can do it, if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it. In the pandemic time, I think this is the most motivational quote by our Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi ji. I would like to repeat it. If I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it. This has been quoted by Shaktikanta Das ji. I know that time is very crucial in this type of conferences, and I thought that it is the right contemporary idea from the government's literature, governor's literature, that I should share with you. Once again, I congratulate Dr. C.M. Patel ji. I just would like to say that there is something which I would like to I have, Dr. Patel, it seems that the control of sharing is not with me.
Yes, sir, you can share.
Okay, then something is wrong with my.
Click on new share, then after screen, click on the screen and then just OK.
Okay. Something is wrong. Am I? Click on screen.
Days, and it is a great opportunity to have you with us. Now we have Dr. Kiran Sood with us. She is the Associate Professor at Chitkara University, Faculty of Commerce in India. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah, good evening to everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. So first of all, yeah, it's a matter of privilege and honor for me as I can see myself to be a part of this valedictory session for this 2 days international conference on business management, social and economical advancements organized by Research Culture Society in collaboration with the University of State Fiscal Service of Ukraine. So I congratulate the organizer. My special congratulations to Dr. C.M. Patel. So thank you so much for sending me an invite and calling me for this wonderful 2 days international conference. And my special thanks to Professor Nadia to giving me another opportunity. Yes, and above all, the eminent speakers of this valedictory session today present here, that is none other than Professor Paresh Shah, Rai Business School, Rai University, Gujarat, Dr. Ketal Upadhyay, Dean Faculty of Commerce, University of Baroda, Gujarat, Dr. Chinnappa, Dean Faculty of Commerce, Telangana. So thank you so much for your beautiful insight as I was listening to you, your wonderful knowledge that you were sharing with all of us. And yes, how can I forget the participants? It's the lovely participants. You made this international conference. The success goes to all of us, the participants, yeah, because you were the important pillar of this international conference. As you can see, the theme of this conference is business management, social, economical advancements. So advancements, I think it's a critical component that always drives the growth. So advancement plays an important role. And above all, the aim of this conference was to support, encourage, to provide a platform for networking, sharing, publishing the growth of individual across the globe with some innovative ideas. So, and I feel that we have somewhere succeeded in achieving the goal of this conference. And see, the platform which we are using right now for the interaction, that is one of the greatest example of advancements. And I think this pandemic has taught us a lesson. Earlier, we were not using this platform. We have restricted ourselves to offline mode, but see the need of the hour, how these needs have changed our priorities, and they see the wave of communication which we are using right now. This technological advancement has changed the whole game. We are sitting at our comfortable places from all over the world. We can interact with each one of us. So I think this is one of the greatest example. No doubt this pandemic has come up with so many challenges, so many threats, so many fears are there. But I think there is some positive side. I think it's generally been said that whenever there is a dark cloud, there is a silver lining. So there could be a silver lining, and we will definitely hope something would be positive in the future. So yes, when I was talking, when I was listening to the participants today, I got an opportunity to interact with some of the participants. Very valuable insights have been shared by our participants. Some of the participants have highlighted the issues related with banking sector. As you know that this pandemic has brought many challenges to various sector, and banking sector I think is one of that sector which has hit it badly. India as a country has already facing a problem of bad loans, stressed assets, but this pandemic has added more fuel to the fire. No doubt, so many stimulus packages have been introduced by the finance minister, but above all, the problem of stressed asset, bad loans, they are increasing day by day. So this is the another problem. Advancement have been there also. Somehow we are managing interacting with banks without paying visit to the offices, that is through online mode. So that is the advancement which we are utilizing the benefit of such technological advancements. Now next, keeping into consideration the healthcare industry. So healthcare industry has seen a tremendous growth as compared to the other sectors. There is a boom period. They have some like positive signs of growth in healthcare sector, and it's not only in healthcare sector. Health insurance, they are getting positive vibes. People earlier were not that much of interested in buying health insurance policy. We know that in India auto insurance is compulsory, but what about health insurance? Health insurance, people are not able to buy it because of several reasons. Maybe they don't feel like we should spend on buying health insurance. Maybe it is because of heavy premiums, which I think the Indians which are not capable to pay, because India is basically above all still an agriculture, it's agriculture dominated. So you just imagine those who are living in slum areas, how can they pay hefty bills of their medical claims? So that is another remain a challenge. I think it will remain a challenge for a few more years, but this pandemic has realized the importance of health insurance, and people have started buying this just because of due to pandemic. So it has several hitbacks to various sectors, like as I told, banking sector. Similarly, stock market has seen various ups and downs, fluctuations. The financial crisis of 2008 and 9 was a very great example. But I think this pandemic, this outbreak has changed the entire game. It has changed the entire industry. And for service sector, specifically to the education sector, see, we are interacting with each other right now. Somewhere we all belong to education fraternity. So we have realized somewhere it's not just the offline, we have the another platform online, which is very much important. So somewhere we are managing to hold this period of 6-7 months, and we are still using this online platform. So we have realized the importance of this online, how much it is important in our lives for communication. So no doubt it has some challenges, it has some drawbacks, but it is serving our purpose. So this is the wonderful advancement which we have realized, that is communication through this platform. Basically it's a virtual performance. So IT sector have moved on to virtual interacting with the employees. They are doing wonderful job. We have realized the importance of virtual performance, because in manufacturing we cannot say virtual performance can be evaluated, but in somewhere there are some areas like in service sector, like education, IT. So we have realized how virtual performance can be evaluated. It has various parameters, different parameters as compared to the physical parameters. So digital platform was already in demand, but this pandemic has realized the importance of more. India is moving towards a self-reliance mission. We talk about self-reliance, we talk about various skills, but above all we are lacking somewhere in terms of digital skills. So we have realized that also. So many deals have been taken place in this pandemic time period, where we have generated so much of money through FDI, specifically in IT sector. So that has brought another opportunity. One side we are facing this problem of unemployment, but there are some sectors where you can see the situation is totally opposite. So volatility in equity market. So, and one more important point, we are talking about, there was some research papers and some participation was today. That was some research paper was based on startups. So India has already started this concept of startups way back ago, but this pandemic has realized the importance of startups to our nation. Because basically what is the startup idea? According to me, it's the idea that can give a solution to the problem. If you are able to give the solution to the problem, then yes, you can bring your idea. The only thing is you need to think strategically. If you have that strategical thinking, you can give the idea, and even in this negative time you can do wonders. I have seen people who brought the concept, who brought the idea with their innovative ways, and they are doing wonder. And above all, we have realized the power of social media in this pandemic. Nothing is possible if you don't have that power of social media. So social media is everywhere. So with all above all, so I just want to thank the everyone, all the eminent speakers, all the audience. Thank you for your participation, and thank you for inviting me for this 2 days international conference on business management, social and economical advancement. So this is from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Kiran Sood. Thanks you for your valuable words. So once again, I am thankful to all the guest speakers, Professor Ketan Upadhyay sir, Professor Paresh Shah sir, Professor Chinappa sir, Professor Kiran Sood, Professor Nadia, for giving us your valuable time and effort for this conference. As per the